Hey, y'all, listen, welcome to the building. It's Thursday, and this Thursday trending topics. And today's title is Protect the Kids. Protect the kids. Because these kids have to grow up to be adults. And if you don't protect them when they're young, a lot of them end up becoming angry, mean, bitter, depressed, sad adults. Protect the kids. So, what do we have on tonight's docket? We have Snoop Dogg's daughter. Been dealing with lupus since 6 years old. Been through so much and recently had a stroke. So keep her in your prayers, but we're going to talk about that. So sad. Then we got Diddy. We got to talk about Diddy again. I know a lot of these cases, the statute of limitations went up. It ran out. So that means that he can't be brought up on criminal charges. But I have a feeling they're going to find a loophole somewhere with him. I'm thinking at some point, Diddy is going to be brought up on some criminal charges and he might get cleaned up. Diddy might end up doing some jail time. Talk about a fall from grace. We're going to talk about Diddy because the case where at the time the young lady was 17 years old and she's accusing Diddy and people in his group of doing some sinister things to her. She wants to remain named as Jane Doe. He knows her name because her lawyers had to tell his lawyers, and he had to respond to the complaint. He responded, and in his response, there's a lot of details that people could tell from the details who this person is. A lot of rumors on the street saying the person is famous or a well-known person. So what Diddy wants is he wants the person to have to state their name in court, but he wants the documents sealed. But he doesn't want her to just be named as Jane Doe, not in the courts. In the courts, he wants her to have to say her name. He knows the name, but he wants her to have to say her name. Hit that like button, y'all. Tonight, we're going to have to buckle our seatbelts. It's a serious topics going on. Then we got this young mother who's suing TikTok. Why? Because she said her daughter got addicted to TikTok and she's suing the platform. And I don't blame her because all of these platforms now, they have an algorithm. And what that does is if you click on a video that has something to do with exercise, what it does is it'll start feeding all the videos that have to do with exercise to you. That could be a good thing, right? But what happens when you click on a video that talks about, everything is sad, everything is kind of violent, or everything talks about how you can unalive yourself? So you click on one, the next thing you know, that program starts feeding more and more and more videos like that to you. And then now you're sitting in your house, wonder why you're depressed and sad and ready to unalive yourself. Because this social media platform, which the kids are addicted to, they go to sleep, they fall asleep to it, they wake up to it, they're at dinner with it, they're hanging with their friends, and their friends are all looking at TikTok videos together. It's an addiction. Yeah, it's an addiction. And even though you have to be a certain age to sign up, the kids just lie about their date of birth. and boom, they're in. Now, you know what's funny with these platforms? On YouTube, I can't say nothing crazy. Are they coming? They send me an email. Someone in your chat said this. You said that, or you showed a video like this. Meantime, I go and I'm like, how are these other videos staying up on YouTube? The people cursing from beginning to end. We had that whole family, the YouTubers arrested now, about to do jail time. Was doing all these family videos. In the meantime, she was not treating the kids well. I use those words. We got another YouTuber who, if you put her on the scale, she probably weighed 15 pounds, soaking wet. And allowed to do video after video after video after video. Why? Because it's making the money and she has tons of subscribers. It's messy. But the mom, along with 5,000 moms, are trying to sue TikTok because they said it's destroying their kids' lives. And I know people are like, oh, it's so easy. Just don't give your kid a phone or take the phone away from your kid. For some people, it's not that easy because then the kid will just, their friend got a phone. Let me see, says Kay. See, I always want to know why other channels curse and use words, but Diva, you get dinged. I get dinged. I'm on other channels and they use all kind of language. I don't understand it. They come at my neck. They ding me all the time. One of my videos, I was in the midst of doing it and they shut me down. I'm like, what the heck happened? I didn't even say anything. It's crazy. I don't know, but I just go ahead and watch my words and try to, walk the thin line. But for these children, it's so sad. Now, when I was growing up, I had to have a friend of a friend of a friend that might have known something. And then they would tell us, and we all get to cackling and laughing. But now, if there's anything you want to know, you could just Google it. And not only will you get an article, you're going to get a video, all kind of instruction. It's messy. It's messy. You could put parental guidance on your child's phone, but their friend will have a phone with no guidance on it. There's this whole thing called the dark web. Insane. Listen, guys, we're going to talk about it. Protect the kids. Protect the kids. This young lady for Diddy, when she got violated, she was in a club at 17 years old. They need to start coming down on these bars, these club owners. If we find someone underage in your development and they're not supposed to be there, we'll shut you down and we're giving you a huge fine. It's messy. But it's Trending Topics Thursday, people. And it's called Protect the Kids. Now listen, guys. Y'all know what y'all got to do. Give me a 1 in the chat. Choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. I am going to say go ahead and buckle your seatbelt because you never know what can happen on the Diva train. We're about to take a ride, and you know what? The train did pull out late tonight, okay? So y'all can't be keeping me up real late because the train already pulled out late tonight. I had to prepare for the storm that they say is coming, okay? So if you're in the area where the storm is coming, I hope you're prepared. Be safe. Get your water, get your bread, get your eggs, get your milk, because that's the stuff we seem to get when they say a storm is coming. But anyway, guys, I'm about to board this train and bring the people on in the building. Hey, Leo.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, In My Opinion.
Hey, Diva. Choo choo.
Choo choo. Hey, E. Felicia. Hey, Wayne.
Choo choo.
Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva.
Hello, y'all.
Hey, Tay. Hey, Dustin.
Hello.
Hey Diva, can I make an announcement real quick?
Sure.
My show is moving, starting in February 29th. My show is moving to Mondays at 7 p.m. on the Juice Radio and Talk Show, and next week will be on the regular day. But after the next week is over, we're moving on to Mondays.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you for that announcement, Dustin. And why don't you go ahead and put that announcement in the chat? Okay. Type it up in the chat there so everybody can know and be reminded, and put in there the Juice Radio and Talk Show link so that the people could come through and support. Okay, Dustin?
All right. I also want to thank my panelist, Jonathan Speaks. I'm taking over his one of his time slots.
Oh.
Juice's her channel is growing, so she's happening to change her schedule up a little bit. So I do want to thank Jonathan Speaks for giving me his 7 o'clock time slot.
Well, look at Jonathan Speaks. That's a sweet thing to do. Well, you know what? Yes. Shout out to Jonathan. That was very nice. Thank you, Dustin. So put all of that in the chat, okay?
I will.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into this trending topic, protect the kids. I think we're going to go ahead and start off with Diddy. We're going to start off with Diddy. You know, Diddy, after Cassie sued Diddy, it opened the floodgates. It opened the floodgates. People was coming to sue him left and right. And listen, he was off the tails of being on the high road. He was off the tails of being on the high road. Yes, he was. He just got an award. He dropped his new album where everybody under the sun did a collab on it called Brother Love. He just had a little baby love. Gorgeous. My little mama's gorgeous. So he was living high on the horse. And then boom, just like that, the walls came tumbling down. Now, see, sometimes people are arrogant. My thing is, if you know you're wrong, go ahead and pay behind the scenes. Don't let it come out. But you know, they get arrogant. When sometimes people, they get away with stuff for so long, they think that nothing's going to touch them. Cassie tried to settle with him behind the scenes. He didn't like the number she was trying to ask for. So he called her bluff, and she called his. She took that thing down to a lawyer, and she wrote all the good details up in that lawsuit. 24 hours later, after Diddy saw that blew up the blogs in the YouTube street, he settled it, but he was a day late and $1 short. Because we already saw all of the grimy, dirty, nasty details. She told us about the freak-offs. He probably thought that she was going to be ashamed to say what happened to her. But you know what? To God be the glory. She released the shame. Yes, she did. She said, yeah, he made me do these freak-offs. Yes, he made me sleep with other men. Yes, he made me do this. He made me do that. He didn't think she was going to do that. That's why he really called her bluff. But see, you know what? She was strong enough to do it because she had a husband behind her. You know what? Her husband is a good man. Because he's not shamed either. That's love right there. Find you that Cassie love. Because that husband loved her. I heard he was the one to encourage her, like, no, you got to do this. And then I heard that afterwards, she handed over damaging tapes. And some of the tapes didn't show her in a good light either. Because Diddy, what is what Diddy and R. Kelly want to do their own, I guess, corn. You know what I mean? Just filming yourself. I don't know what the fascination is in that. And then you keep it. So your own work is coming back to haunt you. It's just crazy. So let's just get into this Diddy story here. Don't get confused because it might seem just a tad bit confusing, but I want y'all to stay connected. Okay? So Diddy demands accusers suing him over alleged SA be forced. Remember, guys, be easy. Easy what you say in that chat. Okay? Diddy demands accusers suing him over alleged SA be forced to state her identity in court. So listen, guys, he wants her to state her identity in court but he is asking the court to seal the documents. And you know, I just caught another theory on court me, right? I think he also wants to force her to say her name in court because he really wants these documents sealed because he doesn't want us to have insight or access to another grimy, dirty, low-down situation that he is involved in. Because he knows how everybody felt once we heard all the stuff he made Cassie do. He doesn't want us to get our hands on all of the stuff that potentially or allegedly happened to this young lady. I thought just came in my head. So this ain't really about her. Everything about Diddy circles around Diddy. This is about him. So he figured he told the court, make her say her name. And then perhaps she's going to be if she's forced to say her name, then she's going to want the record sealed too because she wants to be named as Jane Doe. So Diddy asked the court to shut down the request by one of the women suing him to remain anonymous in court. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, the music mogul and his legal team filed their argument under seal. Okay, meaning that we can't just get access to it. Diddy said the alleged victim asked to proceed anonymously as Jane Doe in the case. Diddy said that he does not agree with this. He said he recently learned the plaintiff's name after being informed of her identity by her counsel. His team put together a motion to oppose her request to remain Jane Doe, but asked that the motion be sealed. Everybody see that? Hell, let me tell you something. Listen, Diddy is sinister, but you know what this man got right? He know what lawyers to hire. He don't got no Tasha K lawyers. He got some pit bull lawyers that know how to flip, dip, and manipulate this thing into his direction. Diddy explained that his motion does not reveal the accuser's name, but it does refer to certain facts about the plaintiff that the Combs defendants have learned because her identity was disclosed by the plaintiff's counsel. Further, he said the facts included in his motion can help third parties. That means bloggers, news outlets, everybody in the world, figure out the accuser's identity based on clues. Remember, it's probably so much in that document. Remember with Christian Keys and his lying self, he came and did that Instagram live. And he said there was some black billionaires that violated him and this, that, and the other. So he left all the breadcrumbs so we could point the finger at Tyler Perry and I forgot the other guy's name. And then he kept saying, I'm going to let y'all know later. Then he said, oh, it's funny. Y'all begging me to say the name, but most of y'all already said it in the chat. So Diddy is saying that I put so much information in this document, people will be able to figure out who she is. So Diddy said his accuser has a public-facing identity that could be potentially determined from the content of his motion. A judge has yet to rule. Child, listen. Diddy, listen. And then it talks about his previous lawsuit, that he was hit with 4 lawsuits after Cassie's, okay? And it talks about all the things that happened with Cassie. But this particular one is the 17-year-old that said, she met one of Diddy's people. So I'll read this piece here. In those suits, the accuser claimed Diddy and ex-Bad Boy president Harvey Pierre and another man, who did not name it, took turns assaulting her in 2003 when she was in the 11th grade. Doe claims she met Pierre and the third assailant at a Detroit club. She said the two convinced her to get on a private jet to meet Diddy. The accuser says she was essayed by the 2 men before taking off. Before they left for the private jet, Mr. Pierre smoked crack cocaine in the bathroom at a lounge, in which he also essayed Miss Doe by forcing her to give him oral. I'll put it like that, the lawsuit claimed. Later, Doe said she ended up at the recording studio with two men and Diddy. She said she was plied with drugs and alcohol. Doe said Diddy and two men armed her. The lawsuit demanded unspecified damages. Jane Doe's attorney, Douglas, told RadioOnline.com, as alleged in the complaint, defendants preyed on a vulnerable high school teenager as part of their trafficking scheme that involved plying her with drugs and alcohol and transporting her by private jet to New York City, where she was, what, by everybody, Combs and all of his people in the studio. And she's suffering emotional distress, financial distress. Yeah, this is a mess. Yeah, he got the best lawyers. Leo, your thoughts?
Okay, so Felicia, is Wig Door the same attorney that Cassie had?
Yes, it is.
So these people ain't playing, right? And I do agree with you, Diva. He does want her to be, they are petitioning. His attorney will petition the court for her to say her name. But unfortunately for him, you can petition whatever you want to the court. The law states that in most states, it's in North Carolina, so I'm quite sure it's in New York, that a victim of SA or R-ring do not have to state their name in the claim. They can remain anonymous, and that's the law. So he can petition whoever he wants to. I don't think that's going to change the particular circumstance. But in all of this petitioning, what he ain't saying is that he ain't do it. Now, he ain't saying that. He ain't say him and his homeboys ain't do it. So, yeah, do what you need to, Mr. Diddy, Mr. Puffy. But the people is coming for you. Like DMX said, you do dirt, you get dirt. So they coming for him, and it's not gonna stop with her. We may eventually find out who this prominent person is, but it will be upon their decision or her decision when she's ready to come forward.
Yeah. Ooh, it's messy, but he being slick, trying to talk about, because they're gonna be able to figure out. No, you don't want us to see all the nasty, filthy details
of another person,
of another
underage young lady that y'all was doing foul and dirty stuff to, and despicable things to. His name is mud and it's dirt. I wish to God this man could get some criminal charges against him. I really, really do. I want the men to come forward, the young men to come forward, all the things, because the freak-offs ain't stopped. They just been, delayed a little bit, but they ain't stopped. So I pray that the criminal charges come for this man soon. The great Satan. That's all I got.
The great Satan. You know what? You right. The freak-offs ain't stopped. They just calm down and he's around with the people. Okay, let me see. I think Diddy wants her to say her name in court, because after the case, ID over her name will be in the transcripts. Then everyone will know who she is. But I don't even think he wants us to know who she is. I think he just wants the case to be sealed. That's just my thought. In my opinion, you're up.
No, I think he wants everybody to know her name. And he's hoping that she's not going to let her name be out there. And he's only using the seal as a cover to the courts. So they would think that he's trying to have her protected. He's not trying to protect her at all. This con man is trying to get off of another case without having to pay millions.
Ooh. Thank you. In my opinion, Wayne, you're up.
I think what he's trying to do is, they already have his information, the alleged things that happened and so forth and so on. He just wants to try to disgrace this woman. I mean, of all the things, that's in the claim that's happened to her, I mean, I don't think she wants anybody, to know that she's been in that situation before or have had things done to her. I mean, it's embarrassing. So I think that's why he wants her to say her name. So it's like my name is already out there being associated with it. I want them to see you. I want them to know your name, that you actually participated in something like this. You know, so that's what I think is just to try to bring disgrace to her, just to have her name out there. Say, if my name is out there, yours gonna be out there too.
Wayne, thank you so much. The twins are
Mhm.
so beautiful. Felicia, you're up.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well.
Good.
If I may, Dave, I'd like to read a little bit more from the complaint.
Yes, you
Can I
can.
do
Of
that?
course. Of course.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go down to factual allegations. In 2003, Miss Doe was 17 years old, an 11th grader residing in the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. At the time, Mr. Combs was 34 years old, twice the age of Miss Doe, and one of the most well-known and influential music artists of all times. A decade earlier, Mr. Combs had founded Bad Boy. At that time, Mr. Combs had many connections to Michigan, including, among others, to the Black Mafia family, a drug trafficking and money laundering organization that is rumored to have seeded Bad Boy Records. On one evening between the spring and fall of 2003, Ms. Doe was out with friends. Remember, she is 17 years old. It was not uncommon for her and her friends to frequent bars and lounges in the Detroit area. Certain of Ms. Doe's friends were well connected with people in the music industry. On the evening in question, Ms. Doe was with friends in a lounge when she was approached by who she later learned was Mr. Pierre. Now, this part is why I wanted to read this. And Mr. Pierre was with his own friends, including the third assailant. Mr. Pierre, the third assailant, and their friends were dressed in suits. Mr. Pierre reportedly complimented Miss Doe's appearance, saying that she was hot, among other things. He then began talking about his self-described best friend and brother, Mr. Combs. Specifically, Mr. Pierre continually stated that Mr. Combs would love to meet Miss Doe. Mr. Pierre even called Mr. Combs and put Miss Doe on the line. Mr. Combs told Miss Doe he would love to meet her and that she should accompany Mr. Pierre to New York City in a private jet. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Pierre directed Miss Doe to go with him into the bathroom at the lounge. Once inside the bathroom, Mr. Pierre began to smoke crack cocoa from what appeared to be an aluminum can. After he finished smoking crack, Mr. Pierre suddenly took out his genitalia, demanded that Miss Doe, whatever, and forced Miss Doe's head down to perform an act. After essaying Miss Doe, Mr. Pierre directed her to accompany him, the third assailant, and a third member of their group to an airport in Pontiac, Michigan, where a signature fixed base operator had prepared a private jet to take the four of them to New York City. Now, the reason why I asked to read all of that is because I think Mr. Combs is trying to flush out that third assailant. That's what I think. Because let's go back a little bit. Like Leo said, he didn't say he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he believes so-and-so did it, the third assailant. But if the third assailant is never identified through discovery, the third assailant would not be held legally responsible. So if I move to settle this matter without identifying that third assailant, then it's all on me. If I answer the complaint and I self-identified the third assailant, then the third assailant can come for me because maybe she's talking about somebody else. So that's why I read that. So I'm on the fence with this. I think all parties need to be identified. I don't know why the third assailant is being protected. I gather it's because this person is very notable, very wealthy, and very powerful. More powerful than a Mr. Pierre or Mr. Combs. And Jane Doe is not prepared to divulge that name unless she has to get to a place of discovery. And discovery is when all of the information comes out. We start to exchange intel, and we find out who's who. So there's a lot of protecting in that narrative of other people and unprotecting of Mr. Combs. And Ms. Doe herself is protected. So I'm going to wait this one out. I think he's ready to settle. I think he wants third assailant exposed. And I did a little research, and the big piece going and coming out of Detroit at that time was Eminem and 8 Mile movie. Detroit was very hot back then. Okay, and she is, as I have read to everyone here, she was in that club with people in this industry, and she was the minor. A lot going on there. Thank you, Diva.
You're welcome. Thank you. E, your thoughts?
Oh, Diva, I'm so sorry. I always struggle to get to that mute button. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly.
All right. Everybody spoke so eloquently, and I love going by Miss Felicia because she's so well spoken. I'll start from the beginning though. You hit the nail on the head when you first introduced the topic from my view. Recording someone on video performing in all their glory while being under the influence, in my opinion, is a form of extortion. What do you need the evidence of the freak off for? What is the purpose? And Diddy was banking on Cassie being ashamed, feeling guilty, and because of those emotions and fears, he thought she would be too embarrassed to tell on him. But thank heavens she found the strength through her daughters and her confidant to see beyond those negatives and push through to the rainbow on the other side. When Diddy got that phone call from his attorney, I know he was pooping bricks. Can you imagine that phone call coming in Monday morning at 9:04 after the clerk pushed it through? Wake up, little Diddy. Sleepy time is over. Okay. I'm glad Cassie came forward, because now if he ever decided to release those tapes of her, or they ever popped up anywhere, she can get them again for revenge P if her attorney didn't make him hand all those tapes over, because I just feel uncomfortable. Can you imagine who he has on those recordings? The people who we don't know. I mean, it will make someone feel uneasy. Now on to Jane Doe. I believe, like you, Diva, said, and like Leo said, he wants her to reveal her name in court, and he is flipping this around as being for her protection. Really, like you said, it's all about him. He sees this person. He said that person had a famous face that we would recognize, right? Well, don't they all? We recognize Cassie, Kim Porter, Young Miami, even the one who went on Unwind with Kevin Hart and Cardi B, who said that he Karate Kid struck her while she was with child. We recognize these women now. The only one who we didn't know was this white girl who was 17, who was so happy to be there. That's the one we didn't know. That was shocking to me, Diva, I will admit to you. But I still agree with you and Leo that he wants this sealed before he loses one more endorsement, one more red cent. And he mentioned that there were 4 other lawsuits that came after that Cassie thing, which was to be expected. He lost the liquor, he lost Revolt, and next is going to be that Bad Boy Entertainment. That is cow manure in the streets. Nobody wants to be a part of that, period. He wants this sealed because his name is hot. And Diva, you just showed his Instagram. I see Busta Rhymes commenting on all the pictures. We saw him picture with Jay-Z, Beyonce. I've seen some other pictures of him with Monica, Sierra, Lauren London, Ludacris, Jimmy Kimmel, Kevin Hart. Diddy knows these people don't want to be pictured with him because the police are watching right now. And he wants us to stop talking about this. And he keeps posting those beautiful children of his. All of those children are beautiful. And
All of
but
them.
can you imagine though? They want to be in entertainment. Every single last one of them. But can you imagine the looks they must get and the scrutiny they must be under riding for him? Yes, that is their father, but this doesn't look good for the entire family. And that's why I believe he really wants this deal, because he wants us to stop talking about it. That boy who looks like him, that chocolate one, Kim Porter's son, identical twin to him, rapping
Twin.
just like him. Really not even rapping, because the rapping is terrible. But he's setting this up. These are supposed to be his legacies. These are what's supposed to carry his name on after. Who wants to carry this name on? Even that, like, it looks just like him in the face, that jaw. That's his.
Mhm.
He wants us to stop talking about it, and we're not. And so he wants it sealed, but the only way he can get it sealed, he needs to go find everyone. He needs to get that black book that the man used to have back in the day, find all those women and pay them off before they come forward.
Ooh, child. Listen, this is Mama Combs. We need to speak to her. Because a lot went on when he was growing up. I want to speak to Mama Combs. And he turned off the comments on everything. Shut the comments down. You can't say a word. Because the people was coming at his neck, and that's why he wants it sealed. He wants the noise to stop. When did this man ever have the comments cut off on his social media? Never. He loved the accolades. He loved being the man on top, where everybody loved him. You wanted to come. Remember, Diddy started those white parties. And the world went crazy throwing white parties after Diddy started those all-white parties. Now you see a little bit of the connection. For the freak offs, he loved to paint the fingernails white. He started those white parties, and then he got out of control after that. Mama Combs, I would love to speak to her. But he wants the noise to stop. And he figures if who do you want to hear the nasty details about that situation, that violation? 17?
Girl, go back to his.
Ooh, give her
Go back.
Mama Combs keeping her mouth shut.
But no, go
Yes.
back to that picture. She got the little Kim special. Go back. Look at those cheeks.
Mm-hmm. This is Mama Combs'
Yeah,
legacy. We need to
she
speak
gonna
to
keep
her.
her mouth shut.
Oh yeah, well, listen, Diddy so sinister, and listen, somebody said Diddy put his hands on Mama.
I was just going to say that.
I was gonna say
I
that
believe
too.
it.
So she know what it is, and you know she love to keep a platinum blonde wig as well that need to be thrown in the trash.
Thrown in the trash. Oh, did my screen shift, Wayne? I came to you already.
Yeah.
Okay, Katrina, you're up.
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Good.
I'm not excusing Diddy, but like you said, we got to protect our children. Why was this 17-year-old flying on a jet out of state to go meet more men? And why, if she was coerced to give this man oral pleasure and saying that she was forced to do that, why didn't you tell somebody before you got on a jet to go somewhere else with him?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm not excusing it because she's a minor. I'm just like, where's your mama? Where's your dad? I'm not saying that they didn't know anything like that, but I'm not gonna let my 17-year-old go on no jet with no opinions that I never met or anything like that. I'm not saying that she didn't have permission or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But where was her parents? And if this man forced you already to do something that you didn't want to do, and you get on a jet and go out of town, go out of state with him, no ma'am. But yet, as y'all all said, Diddy's gonna get his return. He planted his seed. He planted, and now they digging him later. It don't make no sense. It's ridiculous. It was too many women out there that y'all could have been with or whatsoever to live a productive life, but you didn't do it. You want to go the wrong road. And like you said, I'm saying again, protect the children. But what was her parents to allow her to go out of town anyway with me? Is it that she just met? And again, why would you get on a jet with a man that just forced you to do something like that anyway? Then you go away with this man. And I'm not blaming I'm not blaming the child, but I'm just saying a 17-year-old should have had more sense than that. But I guess I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the circumstances, but I'm just saying in that part. That's just weird. I'm not finna do it unless he had me under some influence or something that I didn't know I was getting on this jet. But I digress. That's all I say, y'all.
No, I understand. I understand it. Listen, that's a legit question.
But it's a reflection of what was going on in the home.
Yeah.
It's a deep reflection of what was going on in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Whether the mother was working nights, the father was gone, maybe he was incarcerated, but maybe she was incarcerated. It is a lot of things that was going on in that home where, oh Lord, the child. Anyway, the family, when you allow your children at 16, 17-year-old to go to clubs, or maybe she was lying about where she was going at, because I did that. You know, I said I was in some place and I was in the people club too. But as far as to hop on a flight and go somewhere with people I did not know, even at 16, I would have never, and I mean never, done that. And then somebody gonna smoke something in front of me in some like aluminum can, I would have been mortified. So I don't. It's whatever was good. Maybe the people in her home was doing the same thing, y'all. We don't know.
She was probably about that life. That probably wasn't nothing new to her.
Yeah, she probably seen it in her life. So maybe everybody around her was doing it. So just like, you know, I think it was Katrina. I think she hit it on the head. We can't blame the baby, but at the same time, it is a reflection of what she grew up with in some way.
Well, can I say, even if we had 113-year-old girls waiting at the mall at 10 p.m., that's fine. But still, I don't care if the parents aren't vigilant, if the parents aren't around. What are the men doing picking up 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old girls?
I hear you, but see, the idea is, unfortunately, there's predators everywhere. In the name of Felicia, there's predators everywhere. So, you know, when I was growing up, I don't know. Listen, people, chat with me in the comments if you remember this. You know, there used to be commercials. There used to be commercials all the time on the regular TV. I know everything is with the streaming now. It used to be, I can't remember if the commercial came on exactly 10. Katrina, please keep your line muted because it's giving a little feedback. It used to be these commercials says it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? I promise you, I'm not even making this up. It used to be commercials like that.
Yeah, I remember the commercial too.
I remember
them too.
Yeah, the little girl was on a bicycle.
That's been a long time.
Yeah, she was on a little tricycle, and it would say, "It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?"
Yeah,
and she used to be on a little bicycle.
Yeah, there were several of them. There were several of those commercials. Like, do you know where your children are? So that tells me if they had the commercial way back then, it was just a little more, I don't know what word to use, diligence to let parents know you got to care for your kids. Where your kids at? It's 10 o'clock at night. So I say all that to say that we all know it's not right for what these men do, but you have to be aware they're doing it. Protect your kids. It's not right that a teacher will look your kid in the face and say, "You not college worthy. Good luck to you." We know that's not right, but you got to instill in your kid. I don't care what nobody in that street tell you. I'm telling you, you good enough and you can do this and you got this.
Well, we need
an app. Can you show the pictures?
Huh?
Can you show the pictures?
those pictures were seen before in the article too, Felicia. I can.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a clearer understanding that she was very, I hate to keep using that naive, but very childlike. She was behaving like she was at Disney.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I was going to say.
Hold on, guys. Let me just show something here. Let me see, what screen is this? Okay. So this is the actual complaint. Can y'all see the pictures there? Diddy was 34. Diddy was 34. Now she went on this airplane. She had on this denim skirt. If you see this picture where her sitting on his lap, the skirt, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I think these pictures were submitted so she could prove, like, you see that? Remember, because you reminded me last time, he used to call himself Puff Daddy. There go to PD. Remember, he changed his name about 1,000 times. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Brother Love. I mean, if your daughter's missing, and then it's a whole story about how she ended up getting home the next day.
Well, a lot of people saw that young girl. And so my final thing was, we need something for the public. I remember when Carly started that thing, they started talking about some Ebony Alert or something, but we don't need to put a color on it. Anytime we see a girl who looks underage with the man, there should be a number we can text and say, hey, I'm seeing so-and-so, or we can snap a picture and send it really quick. I mean, we have to advance to keep up, because this girl wasn't just nobody saw it. People saw her, and there's their pictures. Somebody took pictures of this girl. So no, there needs to be a way, if this happened in modern time, for just regular citizens who do not want to get involved, where we could just report and say, hey, somebody needs to check this out. This doesn't look right.
Well, see, let me tell you the problem with that, E. Sasuke, thank you for this information. She said he changed to Diddy after he was acquitted on the Pow Pow charges back when the Jennifer Lopez time. Got it. Thank you for that. So the problem with that, E, is that there are a lot of these young ladies. See, I'm not saying her. So can we have a conversation tonight? Can we have a conversation tonight? Because I'm not saying her. But there's a lot of young ladies along with their parents that are okay with said situation until they're not. Can we keep it 100? There is a basketball player. I'm not into the sports like that, but I've seen the article. A basketball player who was alleged to be with an underage girl. They investigated. They dropped the investigation. Her parents got a lawyer. Her parents knew she was with him, but they was okay because he was an NBA basketball star. But then when there was some smoke around it, now it could be sort of a money grab, so to speak, and they got them a lawyer. Yeah, Nano, some of the R. Kelly victims, the parents were involved. So we're going to be in these streets. You see, what's going to happen with that, E, is going to be a Keke Palmer situation where we're going to be snapping pictures and saying, oh, my God, we saw this young girl with this older guy, and they're going to tell us, mind our business. This my man. I love him. So the people who need to be highly involved in these situations are the parents. Because we'll go out there being vigilantes and they will end up cursing us out. Next thing you know, the lawsuit gets turned on us. Nadi, thank you for being here, girlfriend. I love you. And thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate you. And just so you know, too, Nadi Love has a channel. Check her out. It's the same exact name that is written up there. Is anybody understanding me? A lot of these young girls, listen, I'm not trying to start no mess tonight, but they say that Jay-Z was with Beyonce when she was underage. I don't know. I'm just saying. You got that guy from, I forgot what group. When the group come back to my head, he just married the girl and now she had her second baby. He's like double her age or something
You're
like
talking
that.
about Marcus Houston from Immature.
Marcus Houston, that part. You think her parents didn't know? He claimed when she was only 17, we was just friends. What 17-year-old should be friends with a grown man?
No, she ran away from home. Her parents had been looking for her.
Come on, E, same difference. And when they found out she was with him, all was well. They was at the wedding. He married her. I think she turned 18 or either way, it was something like that. You know, didn't people want to do a remix on history like Cat Williams says? They want to rewrite the truth. So the parents feel better. They say she ran away. We didn't know this and that. But now you happy. You at the wedding. And she's marrying a grown man. So see, all of these situations are not just, they're being taken advantage of. Everybody's into the situation, especially when the person got money. They kick everything out the door when the person got money.
That's what
I don't want anybody to think I'm talking about this young lady or I'm trying to shame this young lady. But let me just say this. I'm just talking general here. I'm in a club. I meet a person and they say, hey, look at my man. He owns a jet. You want to come with me to go meet him? How many people going? We got to stop with this money thing. Some people, when it comes to money, everything else goes out the window. They see green. And then those green dollar signs get them in a rabbit hole. Tay, you're up.
I wouldn't let my child go out of the house. Now when you're 17, I will. Let's see. I will lock the window, lock the door, everything. You ain't gonna get out with me, grown man. No. Not in my watch. Not in my house. I will check everything. The computer, the laptop, everything. No, you ain't going. I don't care you is 17. You live in my house, my rules, and you don't like it, I'm still gonna lock you up. I'm still gonna lock everything. You ain't going, okay?
Thank you, Tay. Appreciate you. Julius, you're up. Julius, are you there?
Yeah, Diddy's getting what's coming to him, and I'll pass.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes victims recruit victims. That is true. That was the case with Epstein. Jay-Z tried Aaliyah first. Aaliyah was another one. Her mom was with her with the whole R. Kelly situation. May she rest in peace. Allegedly, I don't know how true it is, they said the mother was sleeping with him too. So what do you do with that? It's a mess. It's crazy. It's very sad. Before I move on to the next story, anyone else before we move away from this? Excuse me, everybody good? Okay, we're going to move away. We're going to stay connected to this story. There's a reason why he wants her name out there. And whatever the reason is, it's all in his benefit. Really don't have nothing to do with her. It's all in his benefit. And time will tell, because see, a lot of times these people think the judge is stupid. These judges, they done seen it all. This judge is not stupid. That's why the judge didn't make a ruling just yet. The judge trying to figure out what sinister thing he got going on. What he trying to do? I'm going to figure this thing out. Be shocked. We might be shocked to find out who exactly this person is. But you know, I also feel like Diddy got a lot of bodies out there. And I'm being serious. I'm talking dead and alive. A lot of people that has lost their lives, they're saying it's a Diddy thing. Whew. I just really want Mama Combs to tell us what happened. What happened? Hit the like button, people. I'm moving on to the next story. This story is kind of sad. Snoop Dogg's daughter, she was diagnosed with lupus at the age of 6. It's his only daughter. So outside of her, he has all boys. I think 3 with his wife, and 1 is outside of the wife. I don't know if it was before or after. I'm not sure. But this is about the daughter. Your way with words. Thank you for the super chat. I hate that Aaliyah didn't get to tell her story. Maybe some stuff in the industry would have come out sooner. At least I like to imagine. Yeah, thank you so much. They played around and hid her story too. Remember, allegedly he got her pregnant. That's when they had this fake marriage or something like that. So he wouldn't go to jail that time for getting a minor pregnant. It's messy. What a messy, sinister industry. Yeah, Mama Combs might end up living next to me by the time they're done with Diddy. Then we'll get the story from her. All right. Let's get into the Snoop Dogg daughter story. Where am I? Here we go. Beautiful girl. Now, is she still engaged to the boyfriend? Do you know, in my opinion? Because they did a dirty over that too.
I don't know about.
Yeah, she can't catch a break. So breaking down, because when I went to her Instagram, I couldn't see more pictures of him anymore. Especially with a situation like this, you would think he would have been by the bedside. So breaking down, Snoop Dogg's daughter, Corey, she's 24, hospitalized after suffering, they said, a severe stroke. So the rapper's daughter, Corey, shared a photo on social media from a hospital bed on Thursday morning, stating that, stating her health scare. That's the daughter there, gorgeous. Right, she said, I had a severe stroke this AM. I started breaking down crying when they told me. Oh. That's her, Snoop, and her mama. She's a good mix of the both of them. She said, I had a severe stroke this AM, captioning her Instagram stories, adding 2 pleading face emojis. I started breaking down and crying when they told me. The 24-year-old was in disbelief, added, like, I'm only 24. What did I do in my past to deserve all of this? My heart broke when I read this. I was contemplating on really doing this story. She was her hospitalization comes after she opened up to people last September about her lifelong battle with the inflammatory immune disorder lupus. Lupus is a disease that occurs when your body's immune system attacks your own tissues and organs, according to the Mayo Clinic. She was diagnosed with the disease at the age of 6. She told the magazine that she made some lifestyle changes that had improved her health. I've been good, better than I ever been, she told people, adding that she ditched her medication and went all natural. I stopped taking all of my medication like 5 months ago. I'm just doing everything natural, all types of herbs, sea moss, and teas. I started working out, drinking lots of water. So now I think my body's like, okay, this is the new program. And she's getting used to it. His daughter said she wanted to improve her health after being dependent on medication since she was 6 years old. I wanted to change because it became a lot, she told people. I'm only 24 years old, taking 10 to 12 pills every single day. So I'm kind of just went cold turkey. Childhood gotten taken away. She has also been outspoken about her struggles with mental health. sharing her story about her, unaliving attempt in May 2021. She narrated her heartbreaking battle with, unaliving herself in an Instagram post titled, her story. I feel like my childhood literally got taken away from me in the snap of a finger. She struggled to live with lupus. I grew up very depressed, very dark. I feel like I always wanted to fit in, but I never did. I always stood out in a negative way, so I thought. I was bullied in middle school, preschool, high school. She said, you name it. I was always the bigger friend, the darker friend, the sick friend. Even with my siblings, I just could never fit in. I've always been the outcast. And I think just years of that, it just brought me to a place where I didn't want to be here anymore. And at that time, I was willing to do whatever it took to not be here anymore. She's Snoop Dogg's only daughter. He shares two other sons with his wife, Shantae. The rapper has a fourth son, Julian, from a previous relationship. So she's the only girl. That's his only daughter. And they tell you if someone is dealing with this, thinking about unaliving themselves, you can dial 988, or you can chat with someone on 988lifeline.org, or at home. You can also text home to 741-741 for a crisis text line. This is a lot going on because I don't know. I couldn't find out if she was still engaged to her boyfriend, but this girl even caught a lot of slack when she had got engaged. People were saying that the boy was with her for her money, that he didn't really love her. Then they started saying that he was gay. It was just a mess. And she's thinking she can't catch a break. And I will say this, this is just generically, she said that she went on an all natural regimen, and she cut her meds cold turkey. But she also said she was on meds since being 6 years old. I do think you need to. This is just Diva's advice, and I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but everything I know about when you're coming off the meds, it's better to taper off of them than to just go cold turkey, especially if your body was used to them since you was 6 years old. Leo, your thoughts?
I totally agree, Diva. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite sure her healthcare professionals told her it was not a good idea to go cold turkey, but she did it anyway. And she felt like going the natural and the healthy way. Oh, not necessarily. I'm not, strike that from the record. Not healthy, but the natural way to be able to get off those meds, because she wanted to see what life would be like, to not have to take 11, 12 pills a day.
Ooh, yeah.
It's basically slavery to these pills.
Mm-hmm.
And she felt better. She felt like she was getting better, but that did not take away from the fact that she has a disease that's been clinically proven that those medications help her with her health. Some of the things that people decide to do in the healthy way, in the sea moss and eating healthy, all of those things are great. I'm not taking away from that, but to taper off, I'm quite sure was her medical professional. Oh, that's a gorgeous. Oh, she is gorgeous. I'm quite sure her medical professional. I'm sure she had the best medical professionals in her life that was telling her that may not be a good idea. Stick with these two. Stick with these three. Make sure you take these 5. And she just decided not to. And that is her choice to do that. She is a grown woman. So I pray for her. I pray for her mental health. I pray for her that she is supported. She's been through a lot. She looks so happy. She's been through a lot, and I wish her some joy in this life, because obviously she has suffered. Even though she may be a celebrity child, she is not a Kardashian. She does not have the aesthetic, right, that people would automatically assume that she came from privilege. And I'm quite sure they treated her horribly in school. I'm quite sure they treated her horribly. And she may not even have the temperament to would have been able to sustain being an outcast. Because I know all about being an outcast. I know all about that. I was raised Jehovah's Witness, the only one in my school. You know, I know a little bit about that, but my constitution was a little stronger. That it's only but so much you're gonna do to me, and or say to me or treat me. She may not have had that constitution. And you know something else? I hope she finds her spirituality. I hope she finds her higher power. Me and Felicia had this conversation. You can't fight the spiritual war by yourself. There is something going on within her spirit that's calling her to her higher power. And I hope she figures out that she needs to reach out to that. In my opinion, I feel like that will help sustain her through her journey to her health. She's young and she's strong. And if she did have a stroke, I have all hope and all belief that she will recover. She will recover. And maybe she will be able to listen to her healthcare providers and say, hey, you want to be healthy, you want to do other methods, that's fine. But other things, especially with lupus, that it attacks your healthy cells and attacks your body the way that it does, you're gonna need to be aided with those medications along with your healthy lifestyle.
Oh, she's gorgeous. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot. So sad. In my opinion, you're up.
This story was sad for me too. I really cried, reading the story. And I know it must have been hard for her because when you're a kid, no kid wants to take medicine all the time. And no parent wants to see their child sick where they can't heal them neither. So that played a impact on both the parents and the child. And to know that her mental health is, been in danger, and she feels like, what could she have done in the past life to deserve this? And it's like, you didn't deserve this. Like, this is just something that you're going through. It's not your end all be all, but your story gonna be amazing. And it's gonna be breakthrough, and you just gotta hold on.
Hold on. Wayne, your thoughts?
This should be a wake-up call for a lot of people out there who trying to go through these holistic methods, not informing their doctor, not taking the medicine. This is what happened to Tina Turner. She's on the interview, she said that she stopped taking her blood pressure medicine, all the medicine, and as a result, she ended up having a stroke. If you go back and watch that interview, she talked about that. She cold turkey stopped taking all of her medicine, trying to go the holistic route, and it messed her up. So I mean, this is just a wake up call. I mean, nobody want to be on medicine, but if you're going to try to go these other routes, you need to consult with somebody that got some initial behind their name. Not this, all this, we see Moss and all this other stuff. I'm sure there's good stuff, but you need to get real medical advice. If folks don't believe it, look at this young lady right here, a major stroke. And she's only 24 years old. So think about it.
Yeah. Felicia?
All right. So, I thought tonight was going to be an easy night for me because I got a lot on my mind. But, okay, so I'm going to go there. I'm very sorry that this young lady not only has physical challenges, but she has emotional challenges. And there was a time about maybe 2 months ago, Diva, we did a story about Michael Jordan's son and him wanting to marry the ex-wife of
yes.
And I went on the same route. Talking about the education, the learning environment that this particular child, I don't care if you got 5 kids, they're all individuals. So I know that she said she had been bullied in junior high, high school, all her life. She was bullied at school. And I'm saying, well, how come? Oh, she went to Ramon C. Cortines School of Visual and Performing Arts, a failing public school out there in Los Angeles. They got the data up here, folks. Yes, they do. 89% living below or at poverty level. And your father's who? You
Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg. Come on, talk about it, Felicia.
You come from what?
Yeah.
So if I'm the parent and my child is being bullied at the failing public school down the street, maybe I should be looking someplace else. Perhaps this isn't a good fit for my child. And we have resources, or I'm assuming so, because someone said, well, we know she was getting good medical care. Well, I know she wasn't getting a good education.
Come on now.
I don't know if she was getting good medical care. So I took a quick look at the numbers. And in this school, you have a large underserved, underrepresented, undercared, and protected for student population. And you put your only daughter in this school. Your only daughter. And when she say who her parents are, whether these kids know anything about music industry, but they've heard that name.
Come on now.
They've heard that name.
I'm here.
They're looking at you. Now, me and Diva go to school with her. We say, she lying.
Yep. Come on now. Come on, you talking. I'm listening.
Why is she down here in the bottom with us?
Right.
Why?
Protect the kids. Right.
So she's in an environment where she's not being supported. She cannot identify. What did she say? She could just never fit in.
Not even with her own siblings.
Right. How are you going to fit in when you're this not about you? So maybe you don't want to do private boarding. Maybe you want to do private day, where there are children who are more exposed to the things she's been exposed to, who give her a little bit more grace, who can relate to having famous parents, and maybe they want to go in a different direction.
You better talk.
But no, they put her in a failing public high school and told her to fend for herself. Yes, they did. Yeah, they did. Education is key when it comes to loving and protecting our children. I don't believe anyone's child should be to any one thing in any one school. What do I mean? You shouldn't be the only female. You shouldn't be the only male. You shouldn't be the only tall one, the only short one, the only fat one, the only rich one, the only Muslim, the only Christian, the only musician. You should be in a learning environment that fully embraces diversity, so everyone can succeed and everyone can find their voice. That girl should have never been in a school called Raymond C. Cortines in the heart of Los Angeles's most impoverished neighborhood. No. She comes out and she's in a struggle. So what do I gather from that? Not only did she not get a good education, she's probably not getting good health care providers, and she doesn't have a therapist. Yeah, I said it. I'm done.
No, I appreciate you, because listen, thank you, Abs World, for this. Thank you for this statement. My parents went Snoop, but they made sure I did get the best education. You get the best education that you could get your kid. But you know, if you know your kid, they slamming the kids up against the wall over at said school, beating them down. You want to leave your kid there? I'm not.
Oh, and Felicia said a word.
Mm-hmm.
Why have your child? And I never thought about that. Why have your child at a place that you have means,
Come
but
on
you
now.
got her at the bottom?
Come on.
The school at the bottom rung? Where did he do that at? He got 17 jobs and he had his kid at a failing school.
The only daughter. And like Felicia said, at least sending to school, and I'm making names up, y'all, but y'all understand what I'm trying to say. With the Kardashians, with the whoever that is in that same world, because all of those kids will at the very least understand each other. Oh, your dad Snoop? Oh, my dad was Eazy-E. Oh, my mom is on Young and the Restless.
Oh, my mom is Black China. You know what I'm saying? Her kids go to the good schools.
Come on, yes they do. Because both those dads said they pay about 30-something thousand.
They go to the good schools.
Come on now.
My love for Snoop, not that I had a whole bunch, but it's on zero now. I cannot.
Come on. Soon as you come home and they keep bullying you and they this and that, I'm looking into it. There was one school I initially had my son in. It was from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. I thought in my mind this was going to be a nice school because they're going to know these. You're going to know your friends from the kindergarten all the way to the 12th grade. But then there was some things that went on. And I was paying my money for that school, snatched them right on out. Where you going? Don't worry about where I'm going. He ain't coming back here. School was 2 seconds from my house. Easy commute, all of that. And I did what I knew at the time. I called the other people, the other friends, and said, what school your kid? How you like that school over there? And the next year he was over in the other school. You got to at least try to do your best. But what you can't do is know that that thing is a disaster and leave them there. The poor thing wanted to take her own life. And like she said, I had lupus. So she fit in nowhere. She couldn't go to school to fit in. She couldn't come home to fit in.
So what are we saying? What are we saying, Diva? So are we saying that she was not protected?
She wasn't protected. That's why I said protect the kids. And I don't fault her. I brought up the tapering part of the meds because I just want people to know, don't stop any med cold turkey. You got to get tapered off of that thing so your body won't lose it. Because your body, listen, indirectly, our body gets used to sugar. Even if you drink alcohol every day, that's why during C-19, they left the liquor stores open as an essential store. Because the people withdrawn from that, the people will be shaking and in tremors. And they couldn't afford to have those people in the hospital along with the people that were sick from the C-19. So even if you are a sugarhead, and I'm talking regular sugar, right? Not booger sugar, regular sugar. If you used to drinking tea that got maybe 10 teaspoons of sugar, you used to eating candy all day, this, that, and that. When you go to stop, even caffeine, when you go to wean yourself off of these things, you will get a headache. Your body's used to it. It's dependent on it. So all I was trying to say is that this being on meds from 6 years old to up in the 20-something, her body was going to respond and probably just in all kinds of crazy ways. Because it's like, hold on, wait a minute. What you mean today we ain't taking these 10 pills? So the body was okay one day. Hey, the body could take 2 days. The body can take 3 days. But by day 4, 5, 6, and 7, your body's like, what the heck is going on? You can make it crash really easy. And unfortunately, when you want to do that natural thing, you need somebody who studied that thing. because all CMOS is not equal, because everybody under their sun is making it now, and some people are making it in their house and you don't know what they're making it with. And unfortunately, a lot of these celebrities, they don't have insurance. I don't know what, and when you want to pay something out of pocket, they'll bop you upside the head. They coming at your neck for the bill. You paying $2,000-$3,000 a pop. It's a lot. Where did I end off? Who am I up to? UE?
Would be me.
Okay, go ahead. Hey.
I'm going to go off on a rant, so this ain't gonna be nothing nice. But Snoop, because when Felicia started talking about the education, I went and looked it up. Snoop Dogg is worth $160 million. That's what I just saw on Google. And so that's a lot of millions if it's accurate. Even if it's not accurate, I'm willing to give or take a few million. But in education, why couldn't you just sacrifice $100,000? You spend that on a music video. You spend that in the strip club.
Or in them bags of herbs that he keep with him that's top dollar.
Okay. So during the time of her life, wasn't he rapping? He was making the P videos. And when I say P videos, I'm talking about the word that rhymes with corn. He was selling cannabis and smoking it. Okay, I think he has his own line of it. He was cooking with Martha and cheating on his wife with white girls and exoticals. So I don't care what anybody says. A daughter's first love is her father. And if your father is raising havoc in the world with poisonous rap lyrics, smoking weed every day, and cheating on your mama, this girl was doomed from the start. That's what I see. We teach our children inadvertently what we think of them, not only by the words we say, but it's the words we don't say. The girl said in that article you just read, what did I do in my previous life to deserve this? And Diva, that crushed me because that just came off to me as I'm not worth anything. I'm no one. That's what I got from that. And that just hurt my feelings. And it's very sad. And I'm going to beer left, and I'm not going to talk about the lupus piece because I'm not that educated on the topic, but I'm going to step out on the limb, and this may rub some people the wrong way. Whether or not she had lupus, this girl was bound to have problems anyway. Like Felicia said, it's deeper than that. There's an emotional deficiency here. The hurt within this young lady is palpable. It's self-hatred, lack of self-worth, and feeling unworthy of grace and compliments. This girl can't take a compliment. And I'm familiar with those emotions quite well. So for a child of a celebrity to be diagnosed with lupus, that's one thing. But to be born a girl child in a family of all sons who are of lighter complexion than you and have longer eyelashes and skinnier than you. I know that may be superficial, but to a girl in Los Angeles, cut it out, okay? You cannot protect a daughter from this reality, meaning as a parent, you have to work a lot harder. And the work doesn't start when someone turns 16. She says she felt awkward and uncomfortable since middle school due to not only the lupus, but her size. This girl comes from a family where all the men are dark and all the women are light. She looks just like her grandfather because I went to go look up the pictures. I'm like, who does she look like? Okay. But her mom, her brother's wives, and her nieces look nothing like her. What does that say to a young girl, to a young overweight Black girl? What does that say? What does it say that my father is a rap pioneer of the West Coast and none of the girls in his music video look like me? If I'm so gorgeous and I'm so cute, how come none of the women in my immediate family look like me? Why has my father and brother intentionally put women on a pedestal who look so different from me? We talk about colorism on this channel a lot, and you think Potomac has issues with colorism. It's beyond the housewives because it starts at home. Men teach their daughters how pretty they are by the women they date. And brothers teach their sisters what beauty is to them by the women they choose. Yes, boys and men are entitled to have their preference, but when their preference is only their preference because they have been conditioned via music videos, magazines, and that P word that rhymes with corn is not a preference. It's a side effect of colorism and is rooted in that. Sorry to this girl. I think she grew up in a family of men who failed her, and when she finally she finally showed us that there was a man who she was with, because you kept insinuating that, Diva. Remember, she was done so wrong with this engagement. She feels unworthy. And that didn't just happen. It's over the years. So they didn't just invest in her education, but they didn't invest in her as a young woman. And what girls are often taught, sad but true, that your pretty privilege is a piece of currency. And if I don't think I am beautiful, what? I went to a piss poor school. I mean, what's left?
Ooh, thank you. I appreciate you. Protect the kids. Protect the kids. My screen shifted. Wayne, did I came to you already? Wayne, did I come to you already? I did, right? Katrina, you're up. Did I come to you?
No, not yet.
Okay, good.
No, my heart is broken. My heart is. I mean, I don't know who this child is, but I feel this child. I mean, the thing of it is, like everybody said, she don't have the aesthetics of the Hollywood person in her, in her age group whatsoever. Like Kardashian, they light, I mean, they white, and then you have people that's light skinned, and they always get the guys whatsoever. And then when people telling her that this man don't love you, he's gay and whatsoever, that making her feel like, dang, I can't even be beautiful enough to get a man that loves me. And for her to be getting off her medicines, big no. Don't ever go cold turkey on no medicine, especially when you've been taking that's so long, for that long period of time, because your body is going to go into shock. And the thing of it is, I'm just grateful that she's awake from the stroke, because a lot of people that have strokes, they don't even wake up half the time, or their mouth is twisted, or it's been worse. So I just pray that she find the peace that she needs. Um, she need to see a psychiatrist. I don't know if she's seeing one right now, but she need like a self a coach. You know what I'm saying? They help people. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, she needs something like that. But my heart is totally broken. I mean, it's broken because I feel her on that. I really do. And I just pray that she gets what she needs out of life, and especially in the part when she's saying she wanted to off herself. You know how deep a child must be, how deeply depressed they must be in order to want to even do that. To feel like you're not worth it to be on this earth, that you're not worth that to anybody that's around you. You feel all alone. I just hope that she get everything that she needs, and they probably need to pay her more attention, because when I was watching his show, I used to see tutors come to the house. I mean, the people used to come to his house and do like homeschooling. But I just hope that she get everything she needs. That's all I got to say, y'all.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Tay Tay, did I come to you yet on this story?
No, Diva, you haven't.
Go ahead.
I just want to hug this girl. Just tell her you are beautiful in the inside and outside. I just want to hug her, tell her, everything's be alright, that God have your back and everything. I just want to hug her, never let her go. It just broke my heart right now. And she's so young too, Diva. She's so young. God, like Wayne said, like about T Turner about not taking the pills. You need not the pills. I mean the medicine. My bad. The medicine help you out. It helped you out so that way you won't feel no pain, no nothing. I just I just want I just want to squeeze her tight like this. Just never let it go. Just never let it go. And this is just Sarah here, right there. It just we have to keep her prayer. We have to keep her in the prayers.
Yeah, we do. Thank you, Tay Tay. My sister was on medication, dialysis, and suffered a massive coronary all before the age of 30. I'm sorry to hear that, Latoya, and thank you for sharing. Julius, you're up.
Christina Aguilera had the song "Beautiful."
Mm.
This young lady is a very beautiful chocolate queen to be, no matter what anyone says. And even though it showed equality with the two men making out and all of that, but that was the overall message of the song. You are beautiful and don't let anybody get in your way. Don't let anybody get you down. And for this beautiful queen to be so young, her life is still starting. I mean, I see the 20s as like the legal teens, that's just how I see the whole 20 decade. I know that's a little odd to say during a life, but that's just me. Um, but to hear that she had such a serious um medical, because a stroke is pretty serious. Folks, they can make it with lupus. I mean, I had a dance teacher who had lupus, and let me tell you, she did the dang thing, honey. But having something like that, especially at such a young age, it's worrisome. We need to talk about the genetic gene pool. What's, you know, Snoop Doggy Dogg, what's in his genetic gene pool? What's in his wife's genetic gene pool? Because this could not, sometimes it can happen out of nowhere, but for her to have it so young, it has to be hereditary. And I just want her to remember this, even if she doesn't know the song by Christina Aguilera. She is a beautiful young lady. And don't let anybody get her down. And don't let anybody minimize her crown. And I yield back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You reminded me, Tony Braxton and Nick Cannon has lupus, and Nick Cannon, when he did do like a holistic natural thing. But like I said, nothing is wrong with that. I don't even have a problem with that. But you just got to transition under the care of medical professionals that can help you really transition, because Nick Cannon was diagnosed later on in life. She was diagnosed at 6. And from the way I read it in my understanding, she's been on medication since 6. That's a long time. So did I get everybody for this story? All right. My prayers go out to her. Wish her well. But I think the key that Felicia always points out is there's a foundation that needs to be built, and it starts at home. And the way to start to build this healthy foundation is to pay close attention on this educational piece. Because just like as adults, we spend a good portion of our time at work, from darn near birth to 18 now, because most of the kids, when the parents have to work 2 jobs, they're in some type of daycare or learning center or whatever. So darn near birth to 18, the children are spending a major portion of their lives in the educational system. Are y'all connecting with us and understanding what we're trying to say here? So whatever educational system you have them in is very important. And somebody mentioned not all what do you call it? Help me out. Public schools are bad. You are correct. And I don't think we ever said that, right? Not all public schools are bad. Not all private schools are good. But I think the message we're trying to get across is find the school that is a good fit for your child, and it's a healthy environment where they're going to learn and not be bullied and not be hurt and not encounter teachers who don't give a crap, who are pumping what do you call it, doubt in them. There's a lot of people, including me, that had some teachers that told them they wasn't going to make it. Don't apply to college. And a whole lot of other stuff. Find the best fit for your child. That's what we're saying. And we're not saying that it... Go ahead, Felicia.
Yeah, if I may, there was a comment. Someone had read something that it wasn't a bad school. So I'm going to slow it down a minute, because what someone may deem a good school, someone else may deem a bad school.
Come on now. So
I tend to look at data. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm not going to go on emotion. I'm not going to go, I went to that school. It was... So I looked at the data very quickly, and I looked at the recent data. So there was 292 seniors in 2021, 2022. 47.1% went on to college. That was 116. Those aren't good numbers. 65% of the staff are certified. 35% are not. Only 17% of those kids passed that ACT. Another maybe 73% passed the SATs. So when we're talking about future opportunities, whether you're going to a vocational school, you want to get into a top-level training program, you want to go to a community college, you want to go on to a competitive 4-year college, that data matters. Because if you're not competitive on whatever level that is, then you're not going to be able to go to the next step. So the person mentioned in the chat, well, this was a theater school, it was a dance school, it was videoing and graphics and things like that. And I happen to know California, especially UC Berkeley, has a phenomenal program. So I looked at the list of the kids that go on to college. It ain't UC Berkeley, okay? So what I'm saying is, if that's when you're tracking your child's progress, what they want to do, where they want to be, what they're going to excel at, you look at the data and then you go visit. I'm looking straight at the data. This is a failing public school, period. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, then. Oh, they told you break it down. Oh, my gosh. Break it down, Felicia, because ain't that much change since baby girl was there just about 8 or 9 years ago. Well, listen, you know what, though, too, and I'm going to move into this next story. I don't know why sometimes people get stuck on the truth. And just because the truth sting you, don't let it don't listen. Work with the truth and be glad that you know it so that you can do better. We're not going to rise up if we want to get emotional and let the truth sting us. Listen, my people give me the truth all the time. Sometimes I get knocked down, be like, whoa. I said, next time, prepare me before you do that. Hold on. But I want the truth. Why? Because I want better for me and mine. Don't let me go down to Bank A and they only giving me 1% return on my money. Slap me in the face and wake me up and tell me to get my butt over down near the Bank B. Some of us, we can't do better because we are so sensitive to hearing truth in the facts. Sometimes you got to hear you messed up. But don't sit there and cry about it. Come on, I'm going to help you raise this thing up. I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to move forward. To those that caught the message, caught the message. And let me tell you this. There's good and bad in everything. The message is look at the data, look at the numbers, make sure you get your kid in the right school for the right fit. People cheat everywhere. What we're saying is get your kid, have the right fit for your child. That's all we're saying. Let's move on here. And we're going to move on And listen, you want to know what's funny too? I'll say this. When you try to get the experts that know about these situations, you're going to pay thousands of dollars. You're going to pay thousands of dollars. Catch that message from Felicia. It was free. Catch that message. Look at the data. Now, let me get into this last story. This last story is pretty sad. I'm not even going to be able to read this whole thing to you. Matter of fact, y'all, I got to go back and connect this story into the description of this video because it's a lot. The kids now are addicted to these social media sites. This young mother, single mom, a nurse, said TikTok ruined my kid's life. Now I'm suing it with 5,000 other parents. Said her daughter was outgoing. When Brittany Edwards discovered a distressing post on her 12-year-old daughter's TikTok account, indicating thoughts of taking her own life, the 12-year-old. She said, at first I was pissed, I was angry, I was upset, Edwards 34 told the Post. I didn't understand. Hold on one second, guys. Let me go back here. She said, I didn't understand where this was coming from or why she said that or why she posted that. The single mother of 3 was informed of the post when another mom texted her to ask if everything was okay. Thank God for this other mom. Thank God the mom texted her. Because nowadays you can't even get in other people's business and try to help them out because they will come for your neck. The single mother of 3 was informed of the post when another mom texted to ask if everything was okay. I'm like, what? What do you mean? What's going on? Because I'm home. She said, we're all home, she shared. That's when Edwards was sent a screenshot of her daughter's post that explicitly stated, low key, going to commit unaliving myself. Naturally, the nurse from Hartford, Connecticut felt overwhelmed and confused. She is now one of 5,000 parents using Claims Hero to sue TikTok, which is dubbed the big tobacco of the digital age. You know what they say about tobacco is addictive, okay? In July 2023, TikTok quietly introduced a provision in its user agreement that requires parents to file a claim within a year of them creating an account or lose their chance at pursuing damages forever. Claims Hero founder Kelvin Good explained to the Post, given this limited window, it's more urgent now than ever for parents and guardians to hold TikTok accountable so families like Brittany can pursue justice for injuries caused by the most addictive app on the planet. You're hearing this? TikTok also implemented a no class action clause that hinders unity, forcing families to handle the issue individually and leaving Claims Hero to stand in the gap and mediate the battle against TikTok. The Post reached out to TikTok, which is owned by a Chinese internet company, for a comment. This is what she's talking about her daughter, her shining star. Everett says it's been an emotional roller coaster since her daughter was always an outgoing, happy-go-lucky girl who could light up a room. She was my little shining star, Edwards said. At first, Edwards didn't know her daughter had a TikTok. And when she questioned her daughter, she said she signed up for it on her own with an email and made up a birth date. However, TikTok notes in its Guardian's Guide that the platform is only for those aged at least 13, and it's important that your teen provides their real date of birth. Edwards' conversation with her daughter about her troubling post started with some yelling. I didn't know how to react, she said. I didn't know if I would take back the way I reacted because it was natural. I was scared. I was confused. I didn't know if it was maybe a trend she was trying to follow to fit in, or if she honestly really felt like that. She added, just thinking about if she was able to actually go ahead and do this and act this out, then I don't know how I would be able to take it past that. That's the post her daughter made. My thing is, why did TikTok allow that thing to stay up? Like, this is insane. TikTok brain, they call it. A technical investigation from Amnesty International found that young people who watch mental health related content on their TikTok For You page were being recommended rabbit holes of potentially harmful, including videos that romanticize, normalize, and encourage that type of behavior. Reports from that study showed the platform's content recommender system and invasive data collection practices amplifies depressive and unaliving content that could risk making existing mental health conditions worse. They call it TikTok brain. Results from watching personalized videos by using an algorithm designed to accurately predict which content is preferred to engage with. A nationally recognized psychiatrist and trauma expert explained to the Post there's an increase in dopamine with the brain's reward center when using TikTok, with the brain becoming addicted to ongoing dopamine secretion. This is sad. This article is very long. I'm going to post it in the description of this video, but it goes on. There's another family that said they know all too well about this because their 16-year-old son, Chase, he did it in 2022. Before he did it, he received more than 1,000 unsolicited videos around violence and unaliving, which led him to filing a wrongful death lawsuit in New York State court. Of course, TikTok didn't want to talk about it. Her daughter is doing well now because she has her in therapy. They're working through it. She made the daughter delete the app, but the daughter put it back on. She said before her daughter got addicted to all of this stuff, she was outgoing. But she said on TikTok, and I'm summarizing it for y'all, all these videos, they got cursing, inappropriate dancing. They're not suitable for kids her age. Sexual content, drug use. This social media is very sad. I will attach this. It's a lot of information in this video. But her daughter did get help. And she's suing with other mothers to stop TikTok from these shenanigans. Leo, you're up.
Cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor.
Oh, okay. That wasn't me. Okay. So, I'm so unfamiliar with TikTok. I hate to show my age. I don't hate to show my age, but just to say it, the only person I know that I deal with on TikTok is my nephew. Mm-hmm. He does TikTok videos all the time, and he's on the spectrum. So we encourage him. He steps out, he speaks, he mimics, he acts. So when I started to get on TikTok, right, so it was dance videos. So I was constantly bombarded with dance videos. I think at the time it was like Cuff It. It was like Beyonce Cuff It. And so you would see constant dance videos. And I'm going to tell y'all, a person who ain't got that kind of time, I would end up spending like 30 minutes on TikTok looking at these videos. Mm-hmm. I mean, back to back, unconsciously just on these videos. And I got my whole mind. So I can imagine how young people will be caught up on these videos, especially when it is the algorithm caters to what you're already looking at.
Yep.
So I can sympathize with these parents. I wish them well with their endeavor to do a class action lawsuit. Mm-hmm. I think that in the whole spectrum of the social media, when it comes to the kids, legislatively, we are behind because all these companies have free will to do whatever they want and to push whatever algorithms that they want to without any governmental controls. And I'm not the type of person that likes government regulations, but at the same time, if governments can't regulate then the states need to regulate. It really needs to be a push. And that's another thing too. With the legislators that we do have, all of them like old. They're like 5 days older than dirt. So they don't even really understand what's going on when it comes to the TikTok. Because I don't even understand what's going on with the TikTok. And I'm only half a century, but then the average age of legislators is like 64, 65 years old. So our kids are in danger because this thing is not regulated. They have free will to not just control, but to manipulate the minds of our young people. And it's a danger. It is really, really, really a danger. And thank God for this other mom that called and said, "Hey girl, what's going on? Did you see the post of your daughter? Did you see what she said?" Thank God for that. Thank God she sent the screenshot.
Yeah.
I mean, really, to see what was actually going on in her mind for her child. I just I really don't know how we gonna navigate this with our young people. I really don't know how. Do you say you can't be on TikTok? You can't what do you do? Do you make sure, because just like you say, Diva, you can keep your kid off the TikTok on the phone, but they homeboy, they homegirl got the TikTok.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
doing the videos, as soon as they get off the bus.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's sad. It's not just sad to me. It's disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's discouraging. It is really, really unfortunate.
It is.
It's unfortunate. Amazon pushed people to Tumu, girl.
Well, everything is these subliminal messages, right? You know what? To be honest with you, we got them way before social media. It's just that it's in your face 24/7 with these phones and social media. Because you got in the supermarket with the magazines. That's why they always put the magazines.
That's right. That's right. And I used to be reading them, girl, down. I'll be reading them down in the grocery line.
That part.
Down.
Then they did it, with regular TV and the commercials. That's why we wanted Frosted Flakes or Captain Crunch, right? Because all the commercials on Saturday with the cartoons were these cereals. It was always there. It's just that now the level of it is 24/7 and is very heightened. Very heightened.
But that is consumerism at its level at that time, and it's still consumerism at this time, because the more you use the website, the more advertising dollars they can get.
Right.
So while they corrupting our kids, us other people that's on the website, then I got to look at the shoes, and I got to look at the Temu, and I got to look at the Amazon. I got to look at all the advertisements that come through because I'm a consumer. So it's the same thing, even though the kids are consuming the TikTok, but it's for us too to be able to consume. So
it's a lot.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you're up.
So Diva, I'm on two minds with this. So while I agree there needs to be some modifications done to all these social media platforms, I also think there's a place where parents have to hold themselves liable and say, I'm gonna watch what my kids are watching. I'm gonna monitor what they take in. Even if I have to take their phones, I'm gonna do that, because at the end of the day, the book stops with you. And I'm not saying it's easy, but none of my kids was able to live up under my roof and I not had the passwords to all their social media accounts. And every so often I would go through them. I wouldn't tell them I was going through them. If I saw something that I didn't like, of course I brought it to their attention. But at the same time, I feel like everybody needs to keep an eye on your own kids, because you need to know what's going on up under your own roof. And when we get too busy doing our own social media that we're not paying attention to our kids' social media, then we drop the ball too.
Whew, it's a lot. Thank you, in my opinion. Tay, you're out.
Like I said before, I want to let my child watching TikTok. No, ma'am, no, thank you. Nope. You too young to watch all that stuff. You'll have to watch it when you be probably 30 years old. For that right there. And tell that dude I don't look at TikTok like that at all. No, thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Tay. Felicia, you're up.
Hey, this seems to be another medium that parents are going to have to monitor very seriously.
Yeah.
You know, that dopamine effect is serious. When I see these little kids and they're crying or whatever, and their parents put that phone in their hand, they immediately calm down. It's kind of frightening to me.
Yeah.
How effective it is.
Yeah.
So we know something else is happening to the brain when they have this apparatus and these applications at hand. But they're not my children. But I pray for them, and I hope that their parents find another way to communicate, to teach their children how to relax, you know, do something other than that. In those photos, I don't know if they were purposeful or not, but they showed the daughter always with her back to the camera and kind of apart from her mother. And I'm wondering if this situation has separated them.
Yeah, I think they, you know what? I felt like they didn't want to show her face, but it did speak volumes, the picture, to me. So I almost felt like, you know what? They should have never just had the little girl in the pictures at all. They should have just showed the mom.
Yeah, yeah. So I was wondering if they're so divided now that it's going to take a lot of work for them to get back on the same page. Yeah, but I wish them well. Yeah,
same here. E, you're up.
So I hear TikTok is addictive, but they said the same thing about Instagram and Facebook when everybody was using that, and how the screen time on Instagram, how that can be addictive. And truly it is. And I didn't realize how much time I spent on it until I deactivated both my Instagram and my Facebook. Social media is addictive, period. And if you're telling me after seeing one video about unaliving yourself, you were recommended more, I can believe that. That's the algorithm. I'm still on the fence about making this a TikTok issue. I don't understand why people want to restrict content creators from making the content they choose, because some parents cannot control what their kids are watching. As a mom, I feel like this. I cannot control what a content creator says, does, or posts. I can't. No more than I can control my neighbor down the street from acting a fool in their yard whenever they get ready. I can't control that. But what I can control is the screen time usage in my house. I can control what sites you visit. I can control what your internet usage on your cell phone is, and when you turn on the internet on your cell phone. I can control those things. And I think it is a slippery slope saying we need to restrict TikTok. And TikTok is not making videos about unaliving yourself. TikTok isn't doing that itself. The content creators are. And second, I heard someone mention the magazines. I can't remember who it was, but I thought that was a great topic, because I remember in the late 90s, and it's probably happened before, but this is when it was brought to my attention, people were upset about the models on the covers of the magazines and saying, oh, my daughters are having eating deficiencies and regurgitating food after meals, and I'm trying to be careful with my words. But it was almost like, okay, we're blaming the skinny people who don't even know your kid for your kids' eating habits. We got to knock it off. What are you showing your kids in your house? How are you eating? I'm always about it starts at home. And I am with, in my opinion, you monitor your child. You don't monitor my page. Like that kind of offends me. And I hear, people get dopamine and it's addicted. Yeah. People get that from everywhere. Kids are addicted to video games, P websites, TikTok. They're addicted to vaping, doing the hookah. I mean, you name it. So every time that kids latch on to something and it becomes a problem for parents, are we going to change the whole world, or are parents going to take some accountability here and say, hey, I got to manage my house. I have to run my house. I don't know. I'm in my opinion on this. That's the way I see things.
Thank you, E. Who? Julius, you're up.
Ooh, this kind of makes me think of my own personal dilemma, and E actually did the action of deleting hers because I'm in the deep thought of deleting my own Facebook that I've been on since I was 16. Social media has lost its way. It's lost its purpose. And it's turned our world, our society into something unexplainable. That this baby had to post. Thank goodness for the village. Seen it and called the mama like, girl, 911, what's up? Thank goodness for the village. It's poisoned this world, and yeah, I yield back.
Thank you. Emmanuel, you're up.
Hey, um, I support the ban. I hate TikTok. TikTok is different from your typical Instagram or Snapchat. TikTok in particular has become extremely addictive, especially with the kids. If you look at the numbers, the highest percentage of TikTok users are around the ages 11 through 19. So imagine kids spending their formative years scrolling for hours upon hours, and then the content is horrendous. I mean, any idiot can make a TikTok and they talk about things that they have no idea about. All of a sudden, these people on TikTok are becoming lawyers, private investigators, journalists, experts, except they're not. But unfortunately, people who watch these TikToks believe whatever they say. TikTok has kids out here coming up with new weird figures of speech. It is indoctrinating people to think a certain way. Pay attention, people. Look at the country who developed this app. That country is genius. They're using TikTok as mental ideological warfare. And looks like they're succeeding because kids are becoming dumber and dumber. They're having trouble writing. They're not reading on the grade level they're supposed to be reading. I don't like this one bit. And I really don't think the solution is to tell parents, well, don't give them a phone or do this or do that. Because we were all kids at one point, and we know that there was ways that we could go around it, and our parents didn't know everything we were doing. There are certain things like these which are so phenomenal, so immense, that it's hard to stop. Like I said, TikTok is very different. They've managed to make a way in which you can upload a super short video, like 30 seconds, so that allows them to keep scrolling and scrolling. And of course, there is some positives. There are some people who genuinely use it to have fun. They dance, they cook, but you have to look at the bigger picture. And we can't leave it all up to the parents because that's what we have a government to govern its people. So I support the ban.
Thank you. Katrina, you're up. Katrina, are you there? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to my feel good story. I don't know what happened. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Girl, that's what I'm telling you. These phones are crazy.
All right, we're gonna have to move on, Katrina. I can't hear you. All right.
TikTok
Can't
blocked
hear.
it.
I'm gonna beat you, E, because I cannot. Listen, we're moving right into this feel good story, and then I'm closing out. Hold on one second. It's a good one.
Finally.
Oh, yeah. That is awesome.
Shout out to Texas.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, what's a good fit for your kid, this individual kid?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. That's it, right? That's
Those
it, and that's all.
challenges, getting in there and finding your lane and finding what you're good at and what you need to work on and having people support you in doing that. Oh, yeah. I love it.
Love it. Thank you guys for being here. Listen, thank you for hanging out with me late. I'm overtime. Listen, guys, hit the like button. If you didn't hit it coming in, hit the like button going out. I'll see you next time. Good night and goodbye.